All right, hello everyone. So my speaker's off. Put this on. All right, now, hello everyone. Now, okay. So before we get started, let's look at the assignment so we can kind of see what the assignment entails. So, like I said, we went over the search. The search, and then we started with the sort. But let's see what the program's gonna entail. All right. I need to get on share my screen too. Let me share this. Can everybody hear me on the Zoom?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right, all right.
Yes, sir, loud and clear.
All right, so now, what I'm gonna do is, I need to keep moving this screen. All right. Now, go to module. All right, so when I go to module, we'll look, we have assignments 3 and 4, and we have the documentation that's supposed to go with it. And you supposedly did the first one. I got to grade them. But like I say, it has the information as to what I need for the documentation. But if you click on this link here in the documentation, it gives you a file that you can download, and it got cover page. You just put your cover page on that page. There's a page break that I put in, a hard page break, the statement of the problem. So I kind of outlined it for you. So hopefully you can give me what I want, how I want, whatever. Name of your program, whatever, if it's program1.cpp, whatever it is. And then you're gonna paste your source code. You're not gonna take a snapshot of the source code. You're gonna copy it and paste it here. Then a snapshot, the output would be a snapshot, all right? Because I wanted to see the actual screen and what output what it was. Now, sometimes students, what happens is like it scrolls up on the screen. I don't have no big issue with that, but at least if I see part of it or most of it, I'm okay with that. I can see, you know, that your program ran and then it had whatever output and I can match it to your program. Then they got the header file, the name of your header file. And like I say, normally, but students do what I gave them, header.h. And then you're gonna paste the header file source code. Don't do a snapshot. Again, when you do a snapshot, some people may do a small image, and then when I stretch it, I can't see it because it gets distorted the larger I make it. But if you give me just the text, then I can can go through it and see it.
By source code, you mean the whole code itself?
Right, the CPP file, right? The source code for this, the header file is the .h, everything in the .h file. Right. And then if you had an input file, okay, you're gonna paste that information in there too. You know what I'm saying? So you can go to that file, copy it, and paste it in this portion. All right. And so that's just your information as to what the first program we had, 15 names, like name, score, name, score. So you would copy that data file information and put here. All right. Output file, we don't have an output file yet. We never did output file yet. So you'll just leave it blank or put, you know, not applicable, whatever. And then that data dictionary. Like I say, with that data dictionary, for every function that you have, the main function, all of the variables that you have. Now, and also list the global variables that you may have too. But then the main function and every variable, the user-defined variable that you created in there, specifying what it is and how it's used. Then the next function, because what we had a get, we had a calc, and we had a print, remember? So you have your main, all of the variables, you get all of the variables, you put all of the variables, calc all of the variables. Now, sometimes you may have a variable listed 2 or 3 times, like when you use a for loop, you might use X, you know, for X equal whatever in one, for X equal whatever in another. It needs to be in it, wherever you use it, place it in that function. You understand? So we can, when we look at that function, oh, X is being used for whatever. Oh, it's in the main X, oh, X is being used for whatever. All right, so that's what I want you to get used to doing. And you're gonna notice that documenting your programs, like say 2 semesters from now or a year from now, you go back and look at your programs and your document, like, oh, this program I did X, Y, Z, whatever. So you kind of have a heads up as to what the program is doing. Not trying to look at that code and say, man, I don't know what I was doing. I have to go try to go through it or whatever. All right. So it just helps you. And like I say, working in a working environment, when you're working with a team, it does help. All right. So that's the document part of it. So let's go back and look at the actual program that we're dealing with. So this is program assignment 3. All right, so let's look at what it says. Did I click on it? Okay, all right. So it says, submit your source code, your .cpp file. Also submit your data file, okay? The name of your data file should be index.txt. All right, everybody got that? Okay, if your program does not execute properly, send a comment along with your submission. So, and like I say, sometimes I try not to take too long, but sometimes I just try to figure out what is going on with your program. But sometimes it just takes me too long to go through everybody's program and to fix everything, you know? So, but if you tell me, oh, Mr. Sylvester, I couldn't get X, Y, Z to work, then I can focus on that portion and look at it, and then I'll comment on you. I'll say, okay, oh, you didn't add whatever, or this, whatever. All right. So I'll try to do that, but like I say, given time, you know, I'll send you a comment back as to what was wrong in your program. All right. So now, if I click on the actual assignment. All right, so remember we went over the searches and the sorts, the different algorithms. This says, write a C++ program using arrays, all right? Program 4 gonna say, write a C++ program, if I'm not mistaken, using vectors. Everybody understand it? So one gonna be using arrays with the bubble sort and the linear search, and the other one's gonna be using vectors with the other 2, the search and the sort. All right. So it says, read in the data from, all right, a data file of 10 records. So what that means? Now we got to know what the record consists of, right? If we look down here, this is our original data, right? Really nothing is being calculated. As we look through here, we're not actually calculating anything. So it's like, you're gonna have a name in the data file, a year. You won't have this heading in the data file. Everybody got me? You're just gonna have the data, okay? You're gonna have a name, a year, a tuition. Name, year, tuition. Name, year, tuition. Name. You're gonna have 10, right? 10 records. Everybody got that? Now, if you look at this, you're gonna have name, which is a what data type? String. Year, which could be of what data type? Int or your year. Int or what? Huh? String, right?
Question again.
Right, could be string, correct? Right, so it could be int or string, right? But I think I don't know if I gave you what I wanted to be, but it could be int or string, right? But right, correct, because it has the decimal, right? You got me? Now, it says print, okay, you're gonna read in all the data, right? Read in the 10 records. Then you gotta just print out the original 10 records. So what you're gonna read it in from a function, Then you're gonna have a function that's gonna what? Print out the data as it was listed in the data file, which means unsorted in a sense, right? However it was typed in, all right? But then it says using the bubble sort algorithm, and remember I gave you the pseudocode and I gave you the actual code in those notes, but it's in the book. It says using the bubble sort algorithm, sort the data by year. Okay, now the key thing in sorting here, remember, let's look at this. If I'm sorting this data here and I see Ben and 1992 and 0, if I'm sorting these three records by year, what would be the first record? All right, so when I run my sort algorithm to sort my year, and however my algorithm works, when I swap 1992 with 2011, what else I'm gonna have to swap? Okay.
The order of the names?
Right. So see, when I move 1992 at the top, I'm gonna have to move Ben at the top and move 0 at the top. So what? I'm moving the entire record. Right. And yeah, right. So we'll look at that algorithm because we didn't look at the sort algorithm last time, right? So you got to keep that in mind because what students will do, oh, Mrs. Sylvester, my sort, it only work on the year. Well, whenever you move the year or swap the years because they was out of alignment, you need to swap what? The both of the, right, the name and the tuition, right? So that's something you got to keep in mind. All right, so once you read it in, you print it out, you sort it, all right? You don't see the sort here, but you have to sort it. So that's another function, sort the data. And then once you sort it, I want you to print the data out. Now, the thing is, I don't want you to print the data in the sort function. I want you to print the data from the print function, all right? Now, you got to remember, when we use functions, if all my data is the same data types, I want to say data types, is the same data, I can use that same print function to print my data, whether it's sorted or unsorted. Everybody understand that? So I just, if I got a raw data and I print it, and I print from a function, once I sort it, I should be able to print from that same function, right? Correct? So that's what I'm saying. You don't have to try to recreate a original print function and then a sort print function. That one print function is going to print the 10 records unsorted. It'll print the 10 records once they're sorted. You got what I'm saying? As long as you make sure your variables are in the same alignment. You know, if I got string.
They make a shorter program too, right?
Right, make it shorter? Yes. That what you're saying?
Yes, like it's not as, as linear.
Right, because what? All I'm doing is printing the same information, but I'm printing in a different order. Right, correct. Yep. And then once you do that, then I'm telling you to search for to write it to where you're searching for a particular year. Now, you're going to type in the year, it's going to do the search, and if it's found, I want you to print record found and then whatever that record is. And if it's not found, just put not found, okay? Now, the thing is with that, what students do is, some students, again, I don't want you to print or write the code to where you write not found in the search algorithm. I want your search algorithm to return, and like we went through it, a -1, which means what? It was not, we didn't do any swap. Well, not say swap. We didn't go over it yet. You didn't find the record, or it'll be one of the elements of the size of the record. So if I return, like if I got 10 records and I run my search and it returns a 5, I will print the 6th element of my array. You understand? But if I return a -1, because I'm gonna set it to -1. So if it never finds anything and it returns a -1, then it's what? Not found.
Okay, I'm confused on this part. Why are we returning to -1? Where'd that come from?
That's almost like a delimiter. you're gonna set, how would I say it? You when you're searching for something, well, like I said with the computer, you need to set a value of found or not found. We want to set it to not found, right? So
Right.
we're gonna come up with that value of a -1 because 0 would be a part of the array subscript, right? Right?
Right. So that will make it true.
Right. If it's 1 or anything greater, if you're dealing with the range of the array, it'll make it true. But anything outside the boundary of the array, which be on the negative side, will make it false. You got me?
Yes, I get it.
All right, I'm gonna show you. If I got an array of, let's see something, let me do this. I'll just open up a blank or whatever. All right, blank. Come on, yeah. I got one already. Now, so what I'm gonna just put out, I'm just gonna be the elements. 0, 1, 2. All right, let's see. And I'll make this 0 through 9. All right, 9. So this is your elements. And I need to make this larger so you could see. A bit larger. All right, so if I have values in here, all right. Well, and this is not sorted, so well, we can't really use this because we're gonna sort our data. But once I try to sort my data, all right, I'm gonna set my value for my index or for my position to a -1, all right? Now, -1 is nowhere in what? The array positions, right? Correct?
Right.
So that would be my dilemma to say, I'm gonna set this value to -1. If -1 is never changed, then I know I didn't find anything. You got what I'm saying? So
Right.
as long as that position value stays at -1 and I go through my search, that means I didn't find it, all right? So, but when you go through your search, say like if we do our linear search, when it goes through here, it'll check if I'm checking for the number 9, all right? Say I'm checking for the number 9. It'll say, okay, if this position is if let's say num sub 0 is 9, nope, it's 82. All right, so position is still -1, right? It's gonna check to see if num sub 1 is 9, nope. Num sub 2 is 9, nope. Num sub 3 is 9, nope. Num sub 4 is 9, yes. Then we're gonna switch positive to equal to what? To not 1, but what? 4. See, that's the subscript up here. See, 0. So now position is equal to 4. Yeah, no. But look, what I did was I actually put the subscript variable above the elements of the array, and it start at 0. All right, right. So when we hit the 9, all right, we're at the 4th element. We're at the 5th element, right? But sub 4. So what happens? I can return back to the function, and I can print name sub position or whatever the value it is, which is 4, tuition sub position, and year sub position. You got me? So that yes, sir.
So the -1, which that you start out with, that's supposed to be the sub.
No, well, it's like a how would I say it? It's like a delimiter to say, okay, we're gonna start with -1 because -1 is nowhere in what? The array position. Right. So if we don't find any numbers that match, we're never gonna change position, and we return that -1, and we're gonna say if the return value is less than 0, then not found. You understand? But if it's greater than or equal to 0, then we're gonna print that subscript position for each one. Right. So you see what I'm saying? So that's why, you know, that -1 is used. Just to say, okay, this is something that's outside the boundary, you know, but we're not gonna use it as a subscript if it's not found. We're gonna trigger it to say record not found. But once we find it and we associate, we assign this 4 to position, then we'll print whatever sub 4, whatever sub 4, whatever sub 4, whatever sub 4. All right? You got it, Miss who that on? Miss Williams? That was Miss Williams? Who that
Yes.
was? Okay. All right. So now, where is my, oh, that's too many things open. Okay, so if we go back to here, all right, so that's the program, all right, and look at say use functions, all right, for your output, your sort, and your search. Well, and like I say, I didn't even say for the get, so you could get it from the main if you choose to, or you could write the function if you want, but I won't take off if you don't for the get, okay? But it would be good practice to do that. All right, so it say you're gonna sort the data, you're gonna print the sorted data, you're gonna prompt the user to enter a year, you're gonna use the search algorithm, the linear search algorithm to find the record if it's found, and display whether it's found or if it's not found. Okay, so that's the program. So you're gonna have your main function. Okay, you can read or you can get from that main function if you choose to, or use a get function. Then you're gonna print the original data from a function. Then you're gonna sort the data using the function. So you're gonna be passing things back and forth from these functions, right? If I'm writing a get function, right? Well, no, I don't have to pass. If I'm doing the sort function or the search function, the search function, what do I have to pass in order for me to find the value? I'm searching for the year. Do I have to pass the name, the year, and the tuition to search for the year? No. All I could do is pass the year, do my search, find that subscript, and then return back, and then pass everything to the print function. And now I need to pass the what? Name, year, and tuition, because I'm going to print everything from the print function. All right. So that's somewhat how it works. So that's that. Any questions? I'm gonna go to the next one, and it's basically the same, but it's using vectors.
I have a couple questions, Professor.
Yes, sir.
Okay, really simple questions. Do
I'm
we
li-
have to plan for duplicate entries? Like for, let's say we have two
No,
entries
this is
for
the thing.
2012.
Don't use duplicate entries. No.
Okay,
Don't use
next
it.
question. Are we allowed to change the question and the title? You know where it says
No, I
original
don't want,
data?
I don't want you to change it. And I'm gonna tell you why. Depending on the size of the class, if I have 28 people, 30 people writing code and putting anything that they want, and I'm grading it, now I'm grading the first one, and then I'm looking at a certain thing. Then I'm grading the second one, and then now I gotta figure out exactly my mind have to keep changing every time I grade something. So just follow what I give, and that way when it pulls up, okay, it looks whatever. The next one, if it pulls up, oh, it looks whatever. So that way I can stay on one train of thought rather than have to, well, because I could look at it and say, oh, that's wrong, and it's right. Because somebody said, well, no, Mr. Professor, I did this. So now I got to try to think for everybody that, oh, that title was whatever, or this was whatever. So
Okay.
just try to stick with what I give you and go with that. Just like found and not found. Don't do something like this record was not found or whatever. And then I'm like, okay, I didn't see where he printed not found, but I didn't read through the entire thing to see whatever. You got me? Boom, not found. Oh, not found. All right.
Okay, last question. For searching for the record and printing that record alone, is it okay to put that in the same function?
No, that's what I said. I said that when I was telling you. No, I want you to return that position value back to the main function, or the call function, right, which is known as the main.
Because,
what you-
because
'cause what-
my display function shows all the records. Okay, I'll figure it out. I'll
No,
figure it
no,
out.
what you mean? What you mean by what you're saying? The display function, what you mean?
I mean, I read the data,
Right.
I display all of it. I sort
Yeah.
it, I use the same function to
No,
display
No.
all of it.
No, listen, you're reading the
Right.
data. You're
Huh?
reading the data either from the main or you create another function.
Yeah. That's one function.
Then you call a display function or a print function to display all the records.
Yeah, I did that, but
Then
my
you have
print, my print function shows all the records.
yeah, that
And
you,
when we search, we just have to show one record, but I can
Correct.
do that in the program. I
yeah,
can do
right.
that in
That's
the
what,
program itself.
that's what I want. But
Okay,
what I'm saying is your main will control that. You call in all of the functions from the main function. You got what I'm saying?
yeah,
And you printing the found or not found from the main function.
okay. Now look, we have the same input file. And on Canvas, when you upload the same file a second time, it adds -1. Or
It
if
don't-
you change the
that-
program,
Yeah, that doesn't matter to me because I'm gonna have the file. I'm
Yeah.
gonna pull it up. You understand what I'm saying?
yeah,
That's
but
not- the
can I
only
call
time
it
that
index A and index B?
your programs?
Yeah, I mean, the file that I'm reading, can I call it index A so that when I upload it, it connects to my program?
But no, just call it index. If it changes on my end, I'll know it.
Okay,
Yeah, just call it index. Because when you
Okay.
create, you're using Visual Studio, right?
no, I'm using online GDB, but it's the same code.
Okay, so the online GDB is a little different. Now, what you need? Oh, that's
Yeah,
so-
it lets me create a text file and it lets me create a header.
right. But what you need to do is do it within a project, and that way all the files will be in that one project. Then you open up another project for the next assignment.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
everything is
I
not.
worked, I worked a little bit on program 3. I
Uh-huh.
haven't touched program 4 yet.
Right. Well, for I think, and we're gonna go to that dealing with the vectors. It's the exact same program. Well, minus the algorithms that you're using. Okay, that's all it is. Exact
Yeah.
same program minus the algorithms that you're using. Okay. All right. So here we go. Let's look at program 4. Or the program and the vectors, because the algorithm and the vectors. Well, okay. All right, program 4. When you look at it, you're gonna see it's gonna be like, man, it's the same exact program, but I clicked on it. All right. All right. So look, what's this thing here? Using what? So everything else is basically the same. Vectors, selection sort algorithm, and binary search algorithm. That's the only change. But the program, you know, the way it's supposed to operate is the exact same thing. Okay, it's just you're using different algorithms and a vector on one and arrays and a different whatever. Same exact way. So everybody see that. All right. Questions? Questions. All right. So let's look at those algorithms for the search. All right. We went through the sort. Let's look at the search. All right, let's see. I'll go here. All right. If I can scroll down, move this over to this side. Okay, let me scroll down. Oh, we went to the vectors. This is 8. All right. So here is the algorithms for the sort. Oh, we went through the sort. Okay. So we went through it. So, let me show you or give you a kind of skeleton of how the program could look. All right. So in the program, all right, let's see what's in header. All right, so we have this, but you know you're gonna have your header information, right? Oh, your name, the course name, whatever. So the program when you started, you know, upon include, you could say header, well, it'll work though, .h. All right, so now, what are we using? We reading from a data file, right? Upon include, F string. All right. Now, also, we if we was doing the program 4, we would have to do what? Found include vectors, right? But this one don't have vectors, but I'm just saying, if you was doing the second one, you would have to, that's spelled wrong. Vectors, all right? So whatever you're using, you got to load those header files or you'll get errors and you get frustrated because your program will not work. All right. What did I do? What's going on? Let's see. What's going on here? F string, can't include F string. Vectors. CLUDE vectors F string. Okay, that should be right. Now, then you would have, if you had any constant variables, you can have them here. You know, whatever constant variables you have, and this could be whatever the max, right? 10, and that's the what? The max size of your array, all right? So I'm still getting an error on vectors. Why I'm getting an error on vectors? Let me see something. I'm gonna just run this int main. I'm gonna come back. What kind of error is good? Let's see. I don't see what that error is. Cannot open, cannot open. What is this? No search for. Why? Can I affect this? Oh, vector, my fault. All right, so now, in your program, you're gonna have string. Oh, we gotta what? We gotta load the string variable. String function. Library. Found includes string. All right, so now string, what? Name and what? Name needs to be what? An array, correct? Because remember we say we're doing parallel array processing, right? So each one of them, like say size 10, that's what we use, or what we could use here, we could say max, right? Because we created our constant variable already. We have int year, but year could be string, but let's say use it as that, and max, all right? And then what? Double or float, whatever, tuition, all right? And that would be max. So now you've created a variable, excuse me.
You did say we use float as well too, right?
Right. Yeah, what float, double will give you a larger decimal value to work with, right. But we're not doing any calculation or whatever, and our number's not large, so it should work, right, it will work. Right, so now, these are our main variables that we're working with, right? We gotta read these that from a file. So what, up here, we're gonna have to have what? Where we doing what? IF string, right? And then we're gonna have to give a data object. So I'll just say input data. I'll just make it a long word. Input data. All right, so that's gonna be our object. Every time we read from the data file, we're gonna use what? Not CN, but what? Input data. Now, let's go here, not here, but go to our resource and let's create our data file. So what our data file should look like. Now, I want you to keep the data file consistent in the way our output is, all right? And that'll just help me also in looking at your data file. Oh, you got the name, the tuition, name, year, and tuition, all right? So the text file, I'll just leave it at text.txt, all right? And now I could put a name, I could say Tom, okay, year, tuition. Ben.
Professor,
Yeah,
on the program description, it says at the top, name, year,
right, I know,
tuition.
but let me show you.
Yeah,
Right, I'm just
Okay.
going there. You know, I'm not giving it to you exactly like it should be. You understand?
okay,
But you should be
understood.
able to take and say, okay, you want a data file. What the data file name is this? In class, I would, you know, that way you're relating it. I'm not just giving it all to you. You got me?
Yeah, I follow.
Right, okay, all right. Okay, so now, I could say, Mary, well, I'll just say 2001, and say. All right, so now, I get these three names, right? So what I'll do, I'll go back to the program, and what I can do, I could change this to 3, right? But you know you're gonna have how many? 10. All right. So that'll be 3. So I didn't go and type all 10 records. So now, so in my program, if I wanted to get the data and store the data, I can do a what? Prototype here, if I want, and I can say what? Get data, you know, whatever I want it to be. And then I'll have a string int, and well, not that, because I'm using a string, that's a what? An array. Int, that's what? An array. And a double, that's an array. All right, so that's my prototype for my get, okay? Now, I need to give something here, void or int or whatever. Now, so I have my get data, but now I need to define my get data. So I go down here and I can do something like what? Void get data, and this is defining my function. And I can say what? String, if I could type, nm, which is an array, int, year, right, which is an array. What is this? Oh. All right. And tuition, me and my hands on this keyboard.
Okay, so I want to ask, can I use float for tuition if I wanted to instead of a double?
As long as the value does not exceed the size, which it won't, all right? You can, but you got to remember why we have float and we have double. We have float and double because float can work with a certain range of numbers, you know, a number size, and double expands it to another size. You got me? But float should work.
Okay, yeah.
It's almost like using short int and int. Short int, I think, goes up to, if I'm not mistaken, 35,000 or 36,000 and whatever. Anything above that, you're gonna have misrepresentation in output of your value. But when you use int, it increases the size of the int value that you can use. You understand? And then if you use long int, you extended it a little longer. You understand? So you can use float, but you got to keep in mind when you're writing code that if you're going to be using large numbers, it's best to make it larger, because you never know when you start adding, multiplying and whatever, and your numbers get larger than the size it can fit in that memory space, right? But yeah, you can do it. The bottom line, yes, yeah, because we're not calculating. So now, and I want you to look at this, class, because this is where many of you are gonna get some problems, and you may have already gotten. Not this one, because this is the definition. If you look here, if you look at this, when you look at this, you got void, this is your prototype, get data. I'm passing a what? A string array, an int array, and a double array, right? Or I'm going to be using a string array, int array, double array. When I define my function, I should have a string array, int array, and a double array. Everybody see that? Because if I do something like this, and I'm short, when I run the program, it's gonna give me a link error, because it's gonna try to link that prototype with that defined function, and it's gonna say, well, I can't, you know, something not matching, and it's gonna give you that linking error. All right, so you got to be wise of that always in your program, always when you're creating them functions. All right. So now what we just did when we did this, we're saying when we're using get data, we're passing. I didn't do it yet. Well, I got to do it here. We're passing the name array into NM array. So we're going to be referencing the name array as what? NM. We're going to be referencing the year array as YR. Everybody see that? Inside of that function. But we still dealing with what? The same data. All right? It's just referencing it, right? So anytime I want to do something, I have to do it using these variables inside of this function. All right? So if I want to call my get function, I'll just say what? Get data. And then what? Now I have to give the specific variables that are arrays that I'm using. So I would have what? Name, right? Year. Hand hitting the keyboard. Name, year, and tuition. All right. Now, give you another little tidbit. If I rearrange any one of these variables here, it will affect this here. Why? If I had name, tuition, and year, name would be passed into NM, tuition would be passed into YR, and year would be passed into TUIT. Right. So you got to be mindful. So when you're writing your code, I'm saying you got to be mindful when you start changing stuff and doing whatever. You got to be mindful, all right? You got to be mindful, all right? So that's the get function. So now, in here, we know we're getting 3 records, so I could do the for loop, right? But then we could do the end of file or whatever, but I could do for int x equals 0, x less than max, right? Now, the thing is with max here, with this code, I don't have to pass max in my when I'm calling my function, because max is a what? Is a global variable and is constant, right? So max can be used at any time in any function, but it cannot be what? It cannot be changed, right? Right. So it can't be 1, it can't be 2, can't be 4, can't be 5, can only be 3, because it's a constant variable. All right. So max less than max x plus plus. So now we would do what? We would do what? Input data. I think I gave it with our object. Input data, and I can do what? Name. Oh no, NM. YR, and then I got to use subscript because, but I'm gonna write it and then I'm gonna come back and add it. YR and to it. Now, The thing is though, remember, I cannot use NM just by itself because it is a what? It's an array. So anytime I use that array, I have to use that subscript, okay? So NM sub, and what's gonna be changing? What variable? Going from 0 to max? What's the variable?
Gonna use max, right?
Max, yeah, but what NM sub what we're gonna be reading in? X, because max is 3. So that's gonna be our control for our function. I mean for our loop. But the first time through, X is gonna be 0. Second time through, X is gonna be 1. Next time, X is 2 and kicking out. All right. Sub X, right? And to it, sub X. Now, so now we have it where it's did I write that? To it, my fault. Spelled wrong. So now, so I have my data being read in. Now I can do what? I can create my what? Print data or put data, right? My function to put the data. All right. And then what? If I'm putting the data, I want to send name, right? I want to send year, and I want to send tuition, right? Because I want to print all of those variables, all right? So now it's saying, give me an error on put data because what? I didn't do my prototype and I don't have it defined. So up here, I could copy this. I'm gonna copy this here to do my definition for what? Put data. And I'll change this to put. And look, we still passing what? A string, an int, and a double, right? So now I have my put data, but now I need to define what put data is gonna be. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna have to change it up a little bit. I'm gonna copy this, but I ain't gonna have to print a lot of stuff. All right, so now I could change this to put. Now, you see where I got NM? I could leave that the same because it's a reference still, but it's for another function. Or I could put it as name where it was in the main function. Or I could give it a totally different variable name because like I said, just a reference that's gonna be used, correct? Okay, so I could leave it like that, all right? And then I could say for int whatever, rather than this, I can do what? If I'm outputting to the screen, see out that information. But what I can do before I do that, I can do this. I can do see out. Oh, I got my streams going the wrong way. See out in line, and I'm just putting some blank lines. All right, before I print it. So now I'll say see out, and I could do. No, I don't want to do it like that. I'll do it like this, and then I'll do. I should have used the old man IP. I'll just do a /T and then do the year and do the, it just means I'm gonna tab in between outputting each one. And at the end, I'm gonna do a new line. I'm gonna put it on the next line. All right, so that's gonna be the output. So I have it. I called it. So I'm reading, I'm printing, right? So if I continue with the program, I'm gonna read, I'm gonna print, I'm gonna sort, then I'm gonna call this function again to print. Then I'm gonna search, right?
Do you need to open the data file?
Yes. You're right, I gotta do that, right? Because see, I did the iStream, but before I actually do this here, I need to do what? Input data, on my fault. Data dot open, because it got to know what file it needs to open and how, right? And then, what was this text? The TXT. All right. Yeah, always. You always have to open. Now, good housekeeping. Good.
Professor,
Yes.
how do we do that with vectors?
Do what now?
Oh, I guess the declaration and the passing. And
Oh, the same. Remember I showed you at the end of the last class period with vectors? Vectors work.
Okay,
Vectors work just like arrays, but with the subscript. But remember at the end, remember I gave you this? Look here. This is the actual function definition. So here in here, I have an ID passed by reference, that's of int, but that could be string. You understand? A vector of int, right? It's reference and a vector of double price. But now look, this is where you would do your prototype at the beginning of the program to match this. You got vector int ampersand. You got me? Just like
yeah,
if we had,
I got you in the and I can find it in your PowerPoint.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. That's why it's at the end of chapter 8. And then look here, void int ID. Well, no. Now I will tell you this. This is an error, and this is in my notes. I need to change this. See what this void is? You don't use the void to call it, right?
Right,
You don't,
right.
You don't put void. All you put is int vector and then the variables that you just defined. You got me? Right.
Yeah.
So I need to go and change that. I got to make sure I modify that. Everybody see? So you do, everything is done, how would I say? Maybe not identical, but the process is similar. You understand what I'm saying? The way
Yeah.
because you could even pass
The
a
same
file,
logic.
right? You could even pass a file stream object. You understand? You could pass that to a function, but we're not gonna do that. But you can, you know, you can do all those things. All right. But this is this here. But I need to go and change this because this gonna get some people confused. That don't be on there. A call never have. Well, a call can have. I could say int x equal so that what I'm gonna be returning an int value, but I can't just say void in the function. No, I can't do that like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So now back to the program. Where am I? Oh, here. All right. Just looking at the program. So everybody kind of understand. So now, I'm not, to close all your file, you would do in, I could say. Now, what this does, this closes the file so that what? It releases it. If you was in a multitasking, well, not say multitask, a multi-user environment, and you had many different people using a file, a particular, well, had files in a certain location, and you were able to use those files, modify those files, whatever. You can't have everybody accessing the file at one time and making changes. You understand? So it has to be open and then released back so that, you know, the proper updates are made. So this is good housekeeping. And also you close it out and now the system has released that object from the stack or whatever, so your program can continue. But you still have it there, so it's still something that the system is monitoring or whatnot. But that's just good housekeeping here. Once you use it, you close it. Cause what? I'm finished reading. You know, I'm finished with it. I'm finished reading, and I'm going. Now, if you wanted to open that file, that file again, and either write to it or read from it, you'd have to do another open and whatnot. All right. So we have this. So let's run this. This should work. Hopefully it should work. I have my data file. I have whatever. I have the header file. So let's run this and see what's happening. All right. So we debug this, or compile it, and let's see what happens. And hopefully it'll say no errors. But if it is, because class, one thing you got to learn how to do is find errors. You know, You got to be able to read the error message and kind of figure through it. You understand? Now, one key thing is never, I ain't gonna say never, but most times the line you get an error on may not be the line where the error is. It could be the line above it. You understand? Example, if I don't put a semicolon right here, it's gonna join these two lines together and think they one line, and it's gonna give me an error here, not here. You got what I'm saying? And you looking at this line, everything's straight. What's going on? And if you look up one line, oh, I forgot my semicolon. Yeah, see, yeah, always look at, and sometimes you can look at the line below. Look at one line above and one. Correct. That's what happened. Because in C++, you, and I can show you, you can take, I could take this. All that's valid. Take all those statements and put all as one statement. So if I take a semicolon out somewhere in here, it's just on that one line. Right. Yeah, but they break it up, and I think you should for readability purposes. Correct. Yeah, it's easier to debug, read, etc. Yeah, because otherwise you're trying to. Well, let me go through like a formula. If you got a formula that has say 10 steps or to calculate something, if you break it down, so I'm gonna do this part first, and after that do this part. If you got it broken down, you can say, okay, let me go through it. But if you got one long, complicated expression, it's like, man, I gotta go through it, oh, let me start over, go through it. Oh, I got, you're kind of getting confused. All right, so let's run this, okay? I compiled it, let's debug it. So it should read those records and print those records out. So see what it did? That's the original data though, right? That's the original, right? Now you're gonna write that code that's gonna what? Sort the data, right? Now, I'm not gonna write it for you, but what I'll do is this. I'll do this something like, okay, here you're supposed to sort, okay? I'll just say sort data. Now, when I, sort the data, because I just sorted. When I'm sorting, I have to what? Pass what? Everything, right? Because when I move one, I gotta move the other. So when I'm sorting the data, I want to pass the name, year. Somebody had a question. Year and tuition. If I could tell you. All right, semicolon. Now, okay, I'm getting that error because I don't have my prototype, right? So all I could do is what? Copy this, right? If I'm gonna keep everything in the same alignment. Copying is good, but you gotta make sure you make the changes that you need to make, right? So that'll be sort, right? And we passing a string and a double, correct? Now, so when we sort it, all I'm gonna do for the sort, I'm gonna just say, I'm gonna copy this part. Hold on, put it back on. And I'm gonna just put in a comment, a statement that says sorting data or sort data. But you gotta put your algorithm in there, right? So here, this would be sort, and then so 2 lines, and then tell you. All right, sorting data, and I'll just put 2 lines in there after that. Right. Now, so gotta do that, but I still, okay, I called it here. All right, so now let's run it again and see what happens. Do I have, oh, no, I thought I had this thing. So when I run it this time, it just gonna add that extra at the back. So I'm gonna just do the debug, okay. Okay, it's still running. See? So here I read the data, printed the data, and then what? That's my sort function. So it's going to the process, I'm showing you the process, right? But you still gonna have to put what? That algorithm where it need to go. All right. You got to work the algorithm. So that's sorting. So now you just gonna have to add whatever you have to add in your sort. After we sort it, we want to print it again, right? So all I need to do here is do what? That's it. Because once the data is sorted and rearranged in the array, I can just print it again. And it should print the way it's sorted.
So you just copy, okay.
Is that call? Yeah, that call function. Yeah, because I'm calling the exact same data, right? So watch what happens. Now, this one gonna just print the data both just like it is because I didn't do the sort.
Yeah.
Right? But if I would have done the sort, it'd have printed the original, then sorted it, then printed it in the sorted way, right? So let's debug this. Let's go and do this one. And see? So what happened? I read it, I printed it, sorted, but then we didn't really sort, but that's where the sort algorithm go. And then it should have printed it this, which is not sorted, but it'd have been sorted, after it printed the second time. So you didn't have to try to recreate another print function. You got what I'm saying? Because that print function caters to that data. All of the variables that you use already in that print function, right? Nothing added, nothing taken away, right? But if you had to add a variable into that print function, like a total of something that had to be passed, then you couldn't use it. You'd have to create another function. Right, correct. There you go. Right. That's right. All right. And even so, just like name year tuition, if you had something where you had a string in a float and you was printing, you could have printed using that same function. You got me? Because the data type is the same. Right. Right. Okay. So that's that part. Then once you sort it, now you would do the what? The search. So what I'm gonna do is this. I'm gonna copy this and paste this here. All right. So now this would be the search. But the search function will be a little different. All right. Because I want you to use the search function to find out if the record was found, but I want you to return back to the main function and print it. So in here, you would have something like this, something like int REC, all right, equals, all right? So that means int record equals. So now, okay, I'm getting this error because I don't have it here. So I don't have it here. So here, no, that don't go here. That would be my fault. That would be int. This was inside the function. Int, all right? The data type that I'm passing back is int. So that's how that goes. But inside of the main function, that's where down here I would have int, and that's when I would do REC equals. All right. Now, what this saying? This saying, whatever this function returns, I'm gonna store it into that variable called REC. Everybody understand that? Whatever that, because I'm gonna have a return value in my search data function that I'm gonna return. But when I return it, it's gonna return back into this variable here. And then I can do some stuff. But let me create the function that just gonna say search. Now, oh, wait a minute. And then for the search, all we need to do is have what we said, just the int, right? Right? All we need to do is pass that int value. Because we're not searching for a name or whatever, we're searching for a year, right? So that'll be int, this will be int. Notice how they have to match. They will have to match. Okay, and then now in my search function, all right, I need to create it down here. And all I'll do, I'll just copy it. I won't put the algorithm. All right, and this will be searching data. But then what? I don't want all this. And well, first of all, this will be what? Int, right? And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just return back something, all right? Take this off, because I'm gonna have to return something or I'm gonna get an error. Because I'm saying int, so I'm gonna return an int. All right. So now, what I'll do here, I'll say position type is equal to -1. Right, which is what you're going to be using in your program to do whatever. I need to give it a data type. Int position is equal to -1. So let's run through this and see what happens. I didn't add nothing back yet, but let's just run it and see what happens. We debug it, and it's going to have the search and what the sort, the print, and the search. Let's see. One field, syntax should be preceded. Oh, let's see.
Right there where it is. Oh, no.
No, it's there.
No, like where you.
Oh, I got.
Prototype?
Oh, yeah, I'm putting in. I gotta give the variable, not the int. I gotta do year. Yeah, see, that's what copying do to you sometimes. No, it's YEL. Okay. Right. See, I gotta actually pass the actual variable. I was just doing the data type and whether the array, because I copied it from above. So that's what happened. All right. And see, that's what copying do sometimes to you. Yeah, you gotta make sure. I still got an error. Let's see. No. What did it say? Sort data must what? Return value. I did a return value. Oh, no, I didn't. Huh? I gotta say what? Return. And whatever value I'm returning, it should be int. So I got one int value. No, I got two. I got year, but I want to return position. So whatever position is equal to, and it's going to be -1 because I'm not changing it, it's going to return it back to the main function. So when I debug it, it should run this time. I messed up on that one. So it's going to give you an output. No, what happened? Let's see. Unresolved. Let's see. Whoa. Position, return position. That's right. Reference in main function. See, I'm getting a link error. So let me see something. I'm getting a link error. Okay, int, search data. It's an int, it's an array. No, that's right. It's an array of year. Int. This is the int. This is the int value. Int rec equals this. So this is what is going to send that value back to. Right, that's correct.
Yeah, we did not declare rec.
Yeah,
yeah, we
no,
did.
look, it's declared here though. It's declared in the statement here, see?
Would it be then the argument for search data? Would it be year or YR?
Here, this is the main function, so it is year.
Shouldn't we declare rec separately before we assign it search data?
You don't have to, but because you're doing it at that point, you understand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we can do it in one step.
Right.
where you have the function for search.
Would it matter if it's in the main function as opposed to being global?
Oh, I got it wrong?
Yeah, when you scroll down to.
Somebody saying I got misspelled.
Say sort data.
Yeah, look, I have it as sort data. And sort data is supposed to have multiple, yeah. Remember I copied it, but I didn't change the name. So it's supposed to be search here. You see that? Y'all see that on the stream? Everybody see that? Hello?
Yep, we see it.
Yeah, I didn't name the, see, that's what happens a lot of time when you copy. You know, you forget, okay, I got it, whatever, and you don't make all those changes. But if you typing it out, it's like, okay, I'm with this function, I'm doing this for this or whatever. But like I say, you'll learn, you know, over time you'll learn. So let's debug it now. All right. We debug it and it should give me, yeah, it should run. Now watch. What did I choose? Oh, let me go here. Here it is. So here, look, we did we got it, we printed it, we sorted it, but we printed it. Then look, search data, and then it ended. But I'm gonna show you something. Now, so when you return this value, okay, Mrs. Vessel, why are we returning a value if we're not doing anything with it, right? So watch, in this main function, once I return that value, I can do something like this. If REC is less than, or say greater than 1, or well, greater than 0, or greater than, well, I'll do less than 0. Less than 0, all right? If it's less than 0, we're gonna output double quotes, okay? I'm just gonna double space, and I'll put all right, record not found. All right, but all right, else I wanna see out name, right? Oh, let me pull it up. I'm gonna just go copy that where my output statement here. I'm gonna see out this. And I'll put it in here. All right. Oh, this will be name though, remember? AME, because I'm in the main function now. Okay, this would be year. And this would be tuition. All right, so not X though. This would be sub what? REC, remember? Because we return position back to what? To this call function into what? REC, remember? REC is equal to whatever this returning. You got me? So now we're not printing name sub X. We print name sub what? Whatever REC is, right? So name sub REC, all right? All right, so that's what it is. Now, so right now we got it set to -1, and I'm just controlling it, but you're gonna have your code that's gonna control what position is passed back, right? Everybody understand that? I'm just going through the mechanics of the program, so all you got to do is plug in your algorithm. So now, when I run this, it's gonna say record not found because what? Position is set to -1. See? Record not found, correct? Now, check this out. So how many records we have? We have 3, right? But what? 0, sub 0, sub 1, sub 2. So say we set position here to 1. let's look at this. What will print out? Then 2021, 838.28. Everybody understand it, because what's gonna happen when it goes through the program, it's gonna get to this search, position gonna be set to 1. It's never gonna change, because our algorithm is not there, and position gonna return back. So rec, how you doing? So rec gonna equal to 1, and it's gonna print out then whatever. So let's run it now and see what happens. Everybody see that? Let me move this over. Everybody understand it, right? And that's the program. Everybody got it? That's the program. But minus the what? The algorithm that you're gonna have to work with in the program. But that's the setup of the program. That one and the other one. The other one is just using what? Vector. All right?
Output of everything, did you want us to use the set W?
You don't have to, but you can. If I don't specify, yeah. But it's good practice. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was just the set W, and then how do you know what number you usually set to do though?
Well,
Just
what
like total?
Well, what happens with set W, when you, like say, if I got time, well, what you do is you look at the largest, if you know it, output. And like I say, if you print the name
Mhm.
and you wanted 5 spaces say 6 spaces beyond the longest name. If the longest name is 9, you add 6 to that, and you're left aligning.
Got
So
it.
that means all of them gonna be printed out in that particular column width.
So if the name's shorter,
It-
like then, if it's 3, you would do like 12 or something. You would add 9 plus.
No, you just do it that one time.
Oh.
Yeah, because every time it's gonna go through the loop, it's gonna say, okay, give me them, what I said, them 15 spaces
Mhm.
on the left, print the name.
Oh, okay.
15 spaces on the left, print the name. So whatever you're gonna print on this side,
Mhm.
it'll
Do
start,
all-
right,
okay.
that's right. So that's how the set W allows you to keep everything aligned.
Got it.
Yeah. Yeah. Any questions? Hello? So we got this weekend, and then next weekend, we can still work on it. Like I said, we come to class, like I said, I can answer questions and whatnot still, you know what I'm saying? Try to get you on the right track.
Program 3, 4, do next weekend?
No, I think so, because this is a 2-week, I think I gave 2 weeks for this
Yeah,
particular thing.
September 6th.
Right. So next week, like I said, you can come to class and still work on it, ask questions, whatever, so we can kind of get it. Because I want you to kind of get and understand functions, passing the variables, understand. And once you get that, man, it's like, that's a big hurdle, and even with the data files, you're like, oh man, that data file, oh, okay, boom, they're gonna be like second nature. And then now you're dealing with all the other, then we're gonna get into object oriented, so that's when, you're gonna be like, oh man, I got that. We need to focus on that. Right. Okay. Any questions? All right.
Can I see that last function that we
Oh,
made,
okay.
with the rec?
All right. Okay, yeah. That was now that's in the main though. You talking about with rec?
I mean, yeah, I need to see the entry in the main
Okay.
function.
Let me scroll up. Yeah, right here. So what happened is once I executed this function, the search function, like I said int rec is equal to search data, and then I'm passing the year. So what's happening, my algorithm gonna search for the year value, whatever algorithm I use, and if it finds it, it's gonna set position to that subscripted location. And then it's gonna pass it back and store it into rec. So when I ask if rec is less than 0, that means it's none of the subscripts of the array, right? -1 or anything else is not a part of the array, right? Because the array position start at 0 and increase. So if it's less than 0, that means it didn't find it. But if it was any other number greater than 0 or greater, I want to print that value of rec. Like it could have been num sub 5, num sub 1, num sub 3, whatever, num sub 0. You understand? I mean,
Yes,
not
sir.
name, year, and tuition sub rec, which would be that number. Right. Yep. And of course, like I said, you could change this if rec is greater than -1, and then have, output this and else, whatever, you could flip it around. What I'm saying is all in your logic, the way you thinking, right?
So I was getting a argument error for the max variable.
All
For some
right.
reason, it just wouldn't let me pass it.
No. Look, max is when the way we did it here, we made max a global constant,
Yeah, no, that's what the error was, is that it was giving me an error for that global constant when I was trying to use it under the
Yeah, but-
string name.
Right, but the thing is, well, where you tried to use it in? In
First
what
line
function?
under int main, where it says string name max.
Right. Oh, right here. Oh yeah, name max right here.
Yeah, for some reason, it's not letting me pass it.
No, but you don't want to pass. You don't need to pass it. That's what I'm saying. Like where? You're not passing it here. You're just saying max is 3. I'm setting my array size to 3.
Yeah, no, that's the issue, is that it's not letting me use it.
Oh, okay. Now you sure you typed it right? You got CONST INT max.
Yeah, no, it's there.
Okay. Equals 3. And let me look at your screen. Let me see if I could get to you. What's your name?
Russell.
Yeah, pull up. I think. How can I pull up your screen? Let me see. Can I do that? Oh man. Let's see something. I need to go here. I think. Thought it was there where I could share screen.
All right, online GDB is not responding anymore.
Ah. And you use an online GDB?
Yeah, but I had downloaded the files, so I'm importing them into Visual Studio.
Okay. But still, when you do that now let me ask you this. Is this before the main function, the const int max?
Yes,
It's before the heading, the main function heading.
yes.
Okay. Is it before your prototypes?
Correct.
It shouldn't make a difference there though. Constant. I tell you what, try this. And some compilers do that. Try changing the word max to something else.
Oh, you know what? You may be right, because some programs do use max. as a
Sometimes, yeah.
unique
Some of them
value.
have different ones, they have different reserved words sometimes. Yeah, depending. Just try it and we'll see. I don't know if that's it, but just because you sound like your syntax is right. Just do at max, add an X to the end of it. MAXX or something. Oh, you got a class? What time you on class?
Should be about 10:30.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, you can go if you have to, man. I'm gonna try to work his problem out though, so he can get over that hurdle. All right.
Professor, I have to go, but thank you for answering all the questions.
Oh yeah, all right, no problem. Just do my work. Did you get that program done the other day, young lady? You got that program running?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right.
Is there any way you could
Post it? I'm gonna post it. I posted, I know I posted the other one late. I know this week, but I'm gonna post this as soon as it generates and give me an email saying that it's finished, I'll post it. And it should help y'all, you know, you still gotta do that other code, you
Oh,
gotta,
yes, sir.
but at least you have the foundation as to how, you know, it's supposed to work.
Because I was having the same error as him, but like my GDB just crashed on me.
What, it might be, this server.
Mhm, I think so.
Yeah,
Thank you.
all right. Yeah, I thought you was in my class, but no. But ain't no problem, I don't have no issue with that. They, oh, y'all, they can come in, y'all, huh? Oh, yeah, always, yeah. All right. This Miss Della class?
Yes, sir.
Oh. I think she was thinking about going over the other side, but that's all right. But y'all all right? Who was that, logged on? He don't know.
Russell,
Mr. Russell.
I'll just email you if I have issues with the
All right.
renaming too.
All right, hey, y'all could get a your area if you have to. All right, so I'll see y'all on next class period, but do the work. Like I say, work on it so you can come to class with questions. All right,
Yes, sir.
all right. So I'll see y'all on Tuesday next week.
Yes, sir. Take care.
All right, y'all too.